addressing issues men face, but rarely talk about. You are being hosted by Robbie and Steve as always. Our guest today is Bruce. He is a colorful man. You see what I did there? The color of noise. You see what I did? Yeah. The
Clever.
play on words all the way. What the hell?
Mhm.
If I'm gonna be corny and punny, I might as well do it right off the bat.
Let's
Maybe
go,
I can
baby.
just get it done and over with.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have Bruce from Color of Noise here. I'm excited for you to share what you do and your story. Uh, it's a pretty wild story. When we sat down with you earlier this week, just to say hi and meet each other a little bit. Wow. So I'm sure our listeners will be interested in it and excited to hear what you have to say and what you have to share. My favorite line from when we sat down that came out of your mouth there was, "I love the idea. I love the idea of therapy through the mic." So that's what you said, that your latest album was like therapy through the microphone, and just that one clicked with me. Anyways, we're gonna get started with how are you really, Bruce, and I'm gonna leave it to you, and then you can hand it off to myself or Robbie after that. So, Bruce, like we started out every episode here on this podcast with how are you really? We want to know what's on your heart, man.
Well, I'm a South African male, so for everyone who's listening, no, I'm not Australian, so please get tired of that one. So I'm great. I'm not allowed to have feelings. I'm a South African male, and we don't do feelings in my country, so perfect. Everything's great. No worries, man. Um, however, jokes aside, I'm fantastic. I'm honestly fantastic. I couldn't be better. Yeah, blessed beyond right now. Life is great, coming out of complete chaos, but in that chaos breeds a lot of creativity and a lot of opportunities to learn about yourself, lessons. I'm great, man. One of my favorite things is being comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's where I thrive. So yeah, you're not going to get any negativity out of this guest.
Awesome. Who do you want to hear from next? Now you get to ask one of us the question.
Oh, I get to ask you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since Robbie's rocking the stash that's making me feel a little embarrassed, I'm going to ask him. Yeah, way to demasculize me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You'll get there. You'll get there. I know.
How are
I know.
you? How are you, Robbie?
I am doing pretty good. It's been a busy week with work and life. Yeah, nothing new really to report besides busy, and I'm doing well.
Okay, good man.
Awesome.
Steve, Mike. Speaking of therapy and the
I
mic, how are you, Mo?
I am. How am I really? I am. This week has been busy as hell. The good kind of busy. All good things. The things that I've asked for. The things that I've put my name on. Uh, but I was feeling really grateful this morning. I've lived my life generally. There was a lot of chaos. It felt chaotic, and when I was driving back home Friday night, so I guess that would have been last night, I was feeling Friday night, Thursday night. And I'm still trying to put words to it, but feeling really grateful for uh, two friends that I have in my life that are really direct, Amber and Julie, actually, but that are direct here. And I'm the one that creates a lot of the chaos in my life. I create a lot of the chaos because I'm pushing myself to grow. I'm pushing myself to learn, and I'm pushing myself like my own personal boundaries, which creates a lot of looseness. And then when I come back into this place, I have peace, and there's no drama. There's none of that stuff. And these two women are super super solid women. And because I have peace here, I have a lot more energy to give to the chaos and to give to the growth. And that dawned on me the other day, and it's because I have that peace that I can go out and do all of these crazy things and they just keep showing up. And I can go out and be and have a super busy day and they just keep showing up. And so I'm super grateful, and I've been kind of in this like really grateful space since Thursday night. And a lot of it is because I have, it's almost like a piece of safety. I'm good with myself. I know I'm good with myself. It's taken a lot of work to be happy in my own head and in my own space, but it's really cool that when I go out and create that chaos, I can come back here and this little piece of whatever you want to call it is, it's loaded with safety, and it's loaded with an ability to just have those conversations and focus on being a better me. So that's how I am, really.
It's a better answer than me and Robbie put together. Well done.
That's how I am, really. So
I like it. It's funny you say that, because I've recently discovered that I'm addicted to chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been one of the things that I've sort of have to now work on. I obviously will get into a lot of stuff, but I'm an ex-extreme sport athlete. I was a professional skateboarder growing up. I used to be a fighter. I surf. I ride motorcycles. I've broken my back motorcycles. I've broken my neck surfing. I've had all these crazy injuries. I've been chasing. I play drums in rock and roll bands. Like, my whole life has just been this chase, whatever, jumping out of airplanes, anything that's that. And I've found that about myself, and I'm now understanding. And part of the chaos that we will talk about through my story was I'm like, I own that. I brought that myself. Apparently, I couldn't get enough chaos, and so yeah, it's interesting you bring that up.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Though,
Yeah.
like if that's a place where you're comfortable, then you continue to create the chaos because that's where the comfort exists. And
Amen.
when you get the silence, it feels super uncomfortable. So you go looking for the chaos again.
Yeah.
And so it's weird. It's weird in that piece. That piece can end up being really uncomfortable. And right now for me, it's definitely been it's made this part of my life and this part of the journey probably that much more special in a way. So
yeah.
So Bruce, it's awesome to
Yes,
have you
sir.
here. It's awesome to have you on. They got a little bit of a snippet of who you are and maybe what to expect for the rest of this episode. First, tell us about Color of Noise, how it happened, how that mic became a piece of your therapy.
So first of all, apologies for the lighting. I'm on my boat, which is a little bit of part of the story. And if I'm sipping on my green juice as we go, part of the chaos is I'm working 14-hour days right now and hustling and doing all the stuff, and my throat is going. So if I do that a few times, I apologize. Color of Noise came out of, it's a story of chaos, but redemption. In approximately 2017, I had, which was already my third back surgery. I got injured, kind of freak injury, playing touch rugby on the beach. A bunch of us that used to play rugby, and then now we just like play to stay fit. Re-injured, it's just running on the beach anyway, and laying in bed, had surgery. Another failed back surgery. There's a lot of stories that can go into health, but I in my boredom, I jumped on a dating app, single. Most of my life single. I was married during my early like 20s. But this is into my 30s already, and I'm bored on a dating app. I match with this girl who her message is something like, do you want to go to a jazz show? And I love jazz. I used to play in jazz bands. I'm a jazz drummer. I play like all styles, but love jazz, and that's a rarity when, you know, a girl or anyone wants to go hang out and watch some jazz. And I was still only 6 weeks after recovery from surgery, so I wasn't really ready to get out, but I was bored. And again, I'm like, I'm antsy, I can handle a lot of pain because I'm used to it. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get out. So I go on this date with this girl. We kind of hit it off, and things speed up quickly. I'm already at this point, I've already decided that I am leaving California. If we go back a little bit, before I met her, I was doing music. I went to music school young. I moved to London, went to music school, and straight from there, I was already like playing music for a living from like 19 to early 30s or whatever it was. And I just hit a wall. I needed a break. I went back to school and studied holistic medicine for a while, and I got really in tune with physiology in the brain and the mind-body connection, stress, all that stuff, like how it actually impacts your life. So I learned a lot about it. I never thought I was going to do anything with it. I kind of did it for my mother because she was having health issues, and I was like, I just need a break. I need to feel like I'm doing something more than just like being a monkey on the drums playing, because I was freelancing for all these bands at the same time. All chaos, right? And but great. And I got injured. I had to shut down. I practiced for a couple of years. I had to shut it down because I got injured. And I was like, I need a shift. I decided I'm going to move to Texas. I need a complete change. And this girl, well, I won't mention her name for legal purposes, and because I actually don't call her by her name anymore. I call her the Frog, because she's a poisonous frog. I actually saw, this is actually funny, I saw this thing on Instagram, and the guy's like, she was tattooed and colored hair and all this stuff, and the guy on Instagram is like, you guys out there that are chasing these girls with colored hair and all this, like, do you know the most dangerous frog in the Amazon jungle is the most colorful one?
Most colorful
stop,
one.
Yeah, stop chasing. I was like, oh, okay, so that was the frog from then on. Anyway, so yeah, that's the frog. And things escalated. She had a 1-year-old kid. I never wanted to have kids. I was touring in bands and stuff. It was never a part of my future or life, although I really like kids. I have godsons and kids and whatever. But she had this 1-year-old son, and somehow I just kind of fell in love with this boy. There's a lot of angles to the story, but she lied to me very early on about how this child was conceived. And I was like, oh my God, this kid needs whatever. So we go to Texas, and she's like, yeah, I want to get out of LA too. I'm so over it. I was like, all right, well, come. But I was like, yeah, let's just sort of take it easy. Let's see. They came, I bought a place in Dallas at that point, and they came and moved in with me for a little while. It was cool. It kind of gave me a sense of purpose in the beginning. I'm helping up this kid, but I'm realizing this girl is really doing nothing. She's doing nothing for the kid. She's sleeping all day. Months are going by. She's not working. She's not doing anything. I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. But now, fast forward, a couple of months past that surgery failed as well. So now I have another surgery, and then another surgery, and that I end up having another 5 major open back surgeries over this 3.5-year period while we're together. And about a year and a half in on this, I'm starting to get this like feeling, right? I've been in music, I've been around a lot of drugs and stuff. I know what it looks like. And I'm calling out, I'm like, you're doing drugs. I can tell, I can see it. She's staying out all night. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm basically a single father at this point. I'm raising this person's child. She tells me that, we start talking more about the kid, and this kid calling me dad because she told him I'm the dad, and I'm just kind of thrown in this position. And I'm like, okay, it's poor kid. I'll help. You know what I mean? Like whatever you need. Teaching him everything he knows. Teaching him how to eat properly. Teaching him what manners are. I'm teaching him how to swim. I'm teaching him how to skateboard and everything. Right. Most of this time I'm flat on my back because of these surgeries, and I'm having to get this kid ready for school. I'm like driving whenever I can drive. It was a nightmare. And I'm like, this is not good. Well, I got trapped in this cesspool because I wanted to get out of it, but I knew without me, this child, without being dramatic, this child's not going to survive without me. He's literally not. And I had conversations with her family members who are all really nice people. And they are like, thank you so much for being there. We're so worried about the kid. It's a known thing, but they didn't come out and tell me anything really about who she really was. Well, then, so she's a singer, and that's part of how we bonded. So I'm like, okay, she's doing nothing with her life. As a producer, I'm just going to take it on myself. I'm going to build a studio in the house, and I'm going to start writing songs for her. So I start doing this. I'm like, okay, babe, the songs are ready, vocal booth, mic is on, let's go. Just here's the melody, just, write lyrics and let's go. No lyrics, no nothing. Get to the point where I'm just like, I'm just writing lyrics, I'm doing everything. So I'm like, here we go in the studio, there's the lyrics, here's the melody, I'm singing, I have my voice on one side of the headphone, just copy what I'm doing with your voice. She's an incredible singer, like phenomenal singer, and a gorgeous young girl. So like the full package, ready, like to dominate. Well, now doing nothing with. I've written which I considered really strong stuff. I sent them out to some people that I know and everything, and people are like, wow, this is really good. And I said to her, listen, I've done enough. Like, I'm not going to also get out and start promoting for you. I'm trying to give you a life. I'm trying to give you a career. I believe in you. Anyway, nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. And I'm realizing, I'm stuck with the most useless POS on earth. Literally, I'm like, oh, okay. Then I start putting it, I'm like, okay, she's coming home more and more at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. I'm realizing she's an alcoholic. She's hiding beer cans everywhere and stuff, and always going straight to the bathroom when she comes home. And I'm seeing her eyes. I'm like, okay, she's a drug addict. Now we know, there's no doubt about it. There's a million other things I could talk about during this, but we would be here all night. So I'm just going to kind of push through this stuff. I wake up one day and I'm like, I'm done. She goes, of course, freaking out. There's other stuff happened. She called the cops on me just randomly when she's so drunk. She's tried to stab me. There's so many crazy stories that I just don't have time to get into, and that honestly I don't even want to really talk about because this is nasty stuff. But I woke up one day and I'm like, I'm done. She gets up at 6 a.m. I'm out. She goes into a full meltdown, panic, because she sees her whole life disappearing. She's never paid a bill. She hasn't paid for food. I take care of everything. And now, granted, I've been on my ass for the last couple of years. I haven't worked. So I'm blowing through hundreds of thousands of dollars taking care of this family, right? And so anyway,
savings just going out the window.
Brew just, depleted, right? All my life's work, basically. Which I don't care. I have no relationship with money. I don't care about that. I only care about my stress levels and how that affects me. To me, money is very easy to make. You can rebuild from nothing, whatever, which is what I've now done. Excuse my throat for a sec. So she says to me, so I had land in El Salvador and was going to build a house there and everything, just through surfing. She says, give me 2 months, please, to get on my feet. I've got to start from nothing. I said, no problem. I'll leave for 2 months. A week before, me and the child are FaceTiming every day during this period because he just wants to talk to me. About a week before I come back, no answer on the phone. And I'm like, this is getting weird. Nothing. Get to the airport, land back in Dallas. I say to her, text, hey, listen, I'm on my way now. And I get to the house. The cops are waiting for me. The locks are all changed. My dogs are in there. Now, she has never done a single thing to my dogs. I'm a dog fanatic. My pup is laying next to me here, who I'll tell you stories about how I had to break in and get my dog. But they're in there. I can't get anything. She won't let me get to my stuff. The cops are like, the guy even told me straight up. He goes, I'm like, this is my house. I'll show you the title. I'll show you everything. This is the story. This is what happened. He goes, listen, man, she's told us that she's frightened for her life. And I'm like, of course she has. And at this point, I'd already seen photos of her by other men in the past. Like I started like digging and whatever. That we'll forward into that later. But I'm now stuck. And the cop goes, he literally says to me, he goes, listen, you're a man. And I think you know that because you're a man, you are going to come off second best in this situation. Do not go onto your property because the law says I have to arrest you if you go onto your property. And I'm like, are you hearing the words coming out of your mouth while you're saying them, sir? Like, and he's smiling at me. He's like an older guy too. You can tell he's from a generation where he's even like, he must have been in his like early 70s, and he can tell he's from a generation where he's like, he felt terrible for me, but he could do nothing. So my mate who lives in Austin grabs me, go to a hotel for the night, and then I go down to his place and I sleep on his couch for a few weeks, whatever. Then the fun starts. Get a lawyer, eviction court, go a couple of times, not having any luck. This paperwork wasn't this, blah, blah, blah. The third time we go to court, and I got witnesses, I got my realtor, I got my neighbors, I got, everyone. The guy who picked me up, my mate who picked me up. And the third time we go to court, we show up at court, and the judge has a piece of paper, and she goes, "Oh, Miss blah, 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 Froggy, has filed for divorce. This is out of my jurisdiction." And I'm standing in court like, what language
You were
are you
never
speaking?
married.
I'm like,
You were never married, were you?
Hell no, absolutely not. Absolutely
so
not.
she filed for. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
She filed
This is
for
getting good now.
divorce.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
And you weren't married.
Correct. And
How
so,
is that a thing?
What's common law in Texas?
1 day.
Yeah. Okay. So
Common law in Texas is 1 day.
So you're legally married.
Yeah. So
really?
So you can one of you guys can come and stay the night in my house for one night, and I can file for divorce the next day on you and say he stayed with me, we got married, we both agreed, and of course it was all BS. Now I'm like, oh my god! So my lawyer goes, you got to get a family lawyer, and this is where shit really hits the fan. Now I got to get a family lawyer, and this is now it's not to be messed with. So I got the biggest family lawyer in the state. Cost a fortune, but I'm like, I'll figure it out. But I'm fighting for my life. She sends a letter through the realtor saying, extortion letter, saying, give me $100,000 and I'll leave your house. I show it to the court. Court doesn't even care. They're like, that's not part of the, they just literally don't care. So we go through this whole thing. Now it's become my full-time job, right? 3.5 years of this, dealing with this court stuff, fighting in court, over and over and over. And guess what happens? I keep winning because she doesn't have one single piece of evidence, not one text message, not a photo of a wedding, not a proof of zero. So not even one sentence of a page filed with the courts. I have a stack that would make me look 10 foot tall if I stood in it, like a stack of evidence of all this stuff, right? I'm the one that's now having to put evidence. It's her responsibility to put evidence in to prove that we're married. That's how it works. It doesn't help you. It doesn't go anywhere. Exactly. That's supposedly how it is. So now, it's now up to me, and my lawyer's like, yeah, it's a nightmare. Now, I had a female lawyer, very, very strategically, and she even said they've been in practice, like massive law firm, they've been in practice forever, and she's like, this is the worst case ever. We've never hated somebody more in our lives. During this period, I've done a bunch of investigating. I have, let there be light. I have hired private investigators. I've done so much stuff, right? I find out that she's extorted multiple men. One gentleman from China who she was married to while we were together, and she extorted him for a bunch of money. The father of the child was not some guy who's either in jail or dead, who supposedly sexually assaulted her, and that's how the child was conceived, and that's how she hooked me, because I felt like terrible about this whole. I used to have nightmares about that, and it was just this gnarly thing. I found this guy. I go on Facebook.
The father of the child wasn't who you thought it was.
No.
And so
it was her ex-boyfriend.
So you figured out that the father of the child was her ex-boyfriend? And
I started doing investigating. I went into the courts. I'm like, who's this guy that she was married to from China? I started figuring all this out. With me and investigators going through all this stuff, find him. I find the guy's number. I call him. I tell him
you're like, so hey, sorry, I have your kid.
No, this is a different guy. This is the guy from China. And I tell him what's happened. And he's like, man, first of all, let me stop you there. I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine what you're going through. I just got out of it. He's like, she destroyed my life, my family, everything. And I said, what's up with the kid? Like, who's the father? And he goes, oh, I've got his number. He gives me the number. I called. No, sorry, lie. I have his name. He gives me his full name. So I go on Facebook. I message on Facebook and I send a message and I go, hey, Mr. blah, blah, blah. My name is Bruce. And he's on Facebook and immediately it just goes, I've been waiting for this message. It was super creepy. I was like, we start chatting, get his number, we start chatting, and the whole thing just starts really opening up. This guy, she was a groupie. He was in a well-known band. They were traveling. Him and I are doing some music together now, by the way. So crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing a project together right now.
Wow, how things come around.
And he's the loveliest guy, solid guy. He's got 2 daughters, amazing father. And yeah, man, it's just, I found out that she was a homeless drug addict when he first found her, prostitute, everything. Like, the stories go deep, and the stuff that she did to him and the stuff that she did to the other guy. And while she was pregnant with this guy's baby, she was engaged to another guy from another band. And then she went and married the guy from China and then met me, went to Texas with me. Like, it is madness.
It's a nasty web of entangled everything, it sounds like.
And she picks her victims very wisely. Like, not to blow my horn, but like, I'm a man with integrity. I like to do the right thing. I'm raised by a minister. I'm not a religious man, but I was raised by a minister. Certain things, right and wrong. And I stepped up and I fathered this kid and really like all the stuff. And so she's like, so yeah, it was insane. So anyway, then this guy, the father of the kid, ended up being one of my witnesses, stood on the stand with me in court. So anyway, there's a million other things to the story, and there's so many nasty things that I could go into and all this stuff. But that's the general thing. 21 court cases later, I finally win, and
How
one
much did it cost
day,
you?
quarter of a million, just there
to get out of it.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah. And so
what happened with the house in Texas?
Exactly. So here's the funny part. That still means nothing because the person's still in your house. So
you got divorced, but she's still in the house in Texas.
No, not divorced. No, not divorced.
Oh, no, right.
Like, yeah. Hey, Steve, you're gonna put me back in another lawsuit. I was never married. I did not have marriage with that woman. I can't remember the exact timeline here, but this is like around the 20th, and I kept winning. I never lost. I kept winning, but it kept in America or in Texas, all you have to do is just keep appealing, and you just appeal and appeal. So she just go to higher court, and every judge, it was a no-brainer. Like, some of them were like, could not believe what they were hearing and insulted. But they still have the law and they have to do their thing. So anyway, we're at about the 20th one and have won. I thought we are now, because we've won at the highest level. But I thought, my understanding was it's over. But she then still had one more appeal at the highest level. But at that point, I'm like, then I go back to my eviction lawyer. I'm like, how am I going to get her out? He's like, well, she has squatters' rights. Now it's a whole other nightmare. And I said, okay, now I take my life back into my own hands. This is where the fucking playing, like, the games are over now. The gloves are off. I have nothing to lose. I'm struggling with my health. All these failed back surgeries. I'm going back and forth, by the way, to Medellin in Colombia 4 times during this period to go get stem cells. I'm like in chaotic pain, sleeping on couches. I built this little tiny home on my mate's land. It's like a little place to sleep, minute little place. And I'm just like in total survival mode. So I go, all right, I have nothing to lose. I know that there's going to be other people. I know there's the neighbors have told me that super shady people are in and out of the house. So probably drug addicts, no doubt about it. And I was like, my dogs are in there. I have 2 dogs. I know that they're in bad shape. God knows what's up with the kid, but it's not even my problem anymore, right? I'm just like, because it was the first year, it was a nightmare. I missed the kid. I felt terrible. We had this bond. But my dog's up with my life, right? I'm just like, these are my dogs. At minimum, now the kid, I can't have anything to do with him. That's out. Oh, I don't care. Texas, they got guns. I will go in there and I will, I grew up fighting. Like, I have a lifetime of martial arts and stuff, so I can protect myself, but not against bullets. But I did not give a shit at this point. I'm like, I'm breaking into my house. Whoever's in there is going to get the beating of their life, or I'm getting shot, and I'm okay with whatever that is, because I'm not going to keep going down this road, because
So you
the entire
basically
time
hit your limit of like ultimate frustration.
I've got nothing left, got no more money, and the courts this entire 3-year period have forced me to pay all of her bills. So I'm paying the mortgage, I'm paying all the bills. So you can imagine every month where I'm paying $5-6 grand on top of $10,000 a month in my lawyer fees. Every month, all the bills are coming in, and I'm sitting there like, oh, here we go, keep paying, because until I can prove we were never married, I have to keep paying it legally, or I would have been in contempt, and I would have been a big shit. So it was a nightmare. I'm just like, I'm done, man. And in South Africa, like, we're a third world country. If this happened, I would have just gone in the house and just laughed at her, grabbed her, pushed her out the house, thrown her stuff on the street. It would have been over. If I realized who she was, like, this is a dangerous person, get her out, get her stuff, and just lock the doors and you're done. Well, this is America, man. This is everything. It's like, you got to tiptoe and listen, no offense, ladies, but the system is not built for men. It is built the total opposite. I have some of my closest mates. One of my best mates I grew up with from South Africa, he lives in Kentucky. He's been fighting for custody with his daughter for 17 years. He's gone through hell with it, and he's a total gentleman. It doesn't matter. Like, you guys know this too. This goes on and on and on. If you're a man, you're up against the wall, and I was done with it. I broke into the house. I get in there. The place is destroyed. And I'm super OCD. Like, my place is always perfect. My place is destroyed. There is dog shit everywhere. All over the couches. All over the floor. Moldy food in the fridges. Dog piss everywhere. Like, caked dirt everywhere. And like, man, it gets gnarly. Like, sex toys everywhere. Sex toys in the child's toy box mixed in with his toy box. Like, now I'm like, this is the levels to how disgusting this whole thing is on the highest level you can imagine. And God bless my good mate Prince. I call him Prince because he looks like Prince. Alex, love you, Alex. He flew with me. He's like, I got you. I'll go with you. You need somebody to film and everything. I hired an armed security guard when I broke into my house because I'm like, I need somebody to shoot if somebody got shot. You know what I mean? Like, I had everything dialed in, cameras set up. Neighbors let me set up cameras all over the neighborhood, in the trees. I was doing full-on recon stuff for days before I broke in, hiding at night, sneaking onto the property, hiding. It was crazy. If anyone in Hollywood is watching this and you make a movie out of this and I don't get paid, I'm coming for you.
Sounds like a Lifetime movie or a Hallmark movie.
Woo!
Yeah.
She's like, but anyway, so I break into my house. Long story now, endless, because I can go on. Sorry, I know it's just taking forever, but I get in there. She's not there because I already knew her and the kid had to be gone. I found out all the legalities. They were gone. The kid was in another state with the grandmother, thank God. And she had a camera sitting away in the house. She saw me in the house and an audio thing goes on. She screams, "Get out of my fucking house." And I'm like, where's that coming from? I find under all this rubble and trash, find the camera, disconnect or whatever. Cops come. And before the cops come, some cronies come, some big dudes come. And it's just like, it's on. It's chaos. When the cops get there, she finally pulls in. And I have a standoff for 2 hours at the door with the cops. And the cops are like, you can't do this. I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm like, you either arrest me or don't. But this is my house. I went in there so organized. I've got all the court paperwork. I'm ready to go. Here's everything. She cannot show you anything. He's like, I know, but she has squatters' rights. Either way, she was living here. You cannot do that. And I said, I'm not letting her in. I've changed the locks already. Are you going to arrest me? We went back and forth and back and forth. And he goes, she can break through the window and she can come into the house. And if you call me because she's broken in, I'm going to arrest you. And I'm like, sir, are you listening to yourself? Like, none of this makes sense. This is my home. I said, I had animal control come in because her dog that was there was dying. It was so bad. My dog who's here with me now was bleeding profusely. It was 108 degrees, no AC. They were locked in a little laundry room. I broke in through that window and went straight to that. Like, it was such a nasty scene. 30 days, I closed myself on the property. The cops came every 48 hours at least, in the middle of the night, in the morning, in the middle of the day. Every hour they could try to come and get me. Because now she said she's filed for battery or some made up other shit. She's a compulsive liar, right? That's what she does. She's a professional con artist. And she knows the system. So she does it. She went straight to the court, started filing. So now they've got to come and arrest me. And I just stood my ground. So I hid in the house, never answered. All the curtains closed, pitch black, never lights on. The whole time, I cleaned. I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and got that place sorted out. Got a realtor. I did a quick showing, a sneaky showing. I had an offer immediately on the house. Fell through, but then somebody else looked at a young couple, decided to rent. I was like, do you guys want to rent it? I have to be gone by tomorrow because I told them, I'm like, the cops are after me. I got to get out of here. Do you want to rent the house? They're like, we would love to rent. And I get them for super cheap, like the price of my. I was just like, and they're like amazing and they're super cool. So did that. That was a month later. I get out of the state and go back to California. We do yet the final appeal, and her whole thing in court is he broke in and blah, blah, all this stuff. Of course, I got video of everything, right? And that judge finally ruled for me once again, and then now I have 3 judgments against her. One for stealing all my belongings. She sold my recording studio, all my equipment, smashed, like I had broken guitars in there, like she just madness, man, madness. And now I'll answer your question about Color of Noise. So
this is the birth of Color, the Color of Noise.
Yeah. I basically told you what I just gave you was the lyrics to the album of the Color of Noise album. So and you might not, I know I'm a talker, but you might not believe me, but that is literally 1% of the story. I can't even, if I gave you all of it, you would be like, oh, we got to go to bed, man. This is ridiculous.
Riverside doesn't have enough data to store.
Yeah, no, it's great. That's not me freezing, by the way. I'm kidding. It's crashing. So the album, the band name is Color of Noise. Color of Noise, Con, which was my experience. The name of the album is called Noise Therapy, and once I sort of at the end of this, I came with nothing. I had nothing. I owned nothing. I had to get clothes and start just ordering little bits of equipment. I just got real basic stuff. I used to have a beautiful pro setup, and I'm like, I'm starting from nothing, a laptop type producer now, okay? And I did not write an album. That's the difference. And this is, I've never done this before. I don't know if anyone else has ever done this before. It's not a normal way we work in the music industry. I recorded an album. I had no ideas. I had no chord structure. I didn't have lyrics. I literally just hit record and I just recorded an album. So the closest I can say would be like some of the rappers, how they freestyle. Now, I'm not that talented. I can't like sit on a mic like Eminem or any of these guys are just like, but it happened during this period. It just came out of me, and I would just be like, okay, as a drummer, I'm like, I'm going to record drums in a proper studio, but everything else I recorded in my little tiny home that one of my best mates from South Africa, Travis, shout out to Trav, him and his wife, they have this land in Melbourne. He's like, we got you, man. They saw what I was going through. Take some land. I got a little container and I moved in there, and I got my bed next to the sink and my recording equipment. And it's just like this tiny little thing. I recorded the whole album in there except drums. So the process would just be, I would just do some programming. I would grab my bass guitar, and everything was like almost one take, basically live. Bass, boom, 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 boom. Guitar, done. Okay, mic, start singing. And then I would start singing, and I'd stop. Like, okay, that's cool. Then I'd sort of write down a couple of lyrics. Like, okay, stop. And almost the whole album was one take. I went to a nice studio called Native South Studios. If anyone wants an amazing drum room in LA, I have to give him a shout out because he also knew my story, and he gave me an amazing price. Jonathan, thank you so much, man. I couldn't have done it without you as well. Went and recorded all the drum parts for the whole album in a day, just like banged it out, and came back. I bought this boat in Marina del Rey, and the last 5 months, I'm just kind of finishing now. The last 5 months, I gutted it and been renovating and turned it into a studio. And I got some actual videos on YouTube of the process, which is quite fun. But I decided to mix the album on the boat. I'm a water guy. I'm a lifelong surfer, swimmer. Like, I love being around water and in water.
And you're recording from this podcast right now. You're sitting in your boat.
I'm sitting on the boat. So here we are. There's the kitchen.
Extensive kitchen.
Painted by moi. So, man, I mixed the album on this boat. I recorded it in the tiny home. It was an amazing experience. It's called Noise Therapy for a reason, because and this is where we get into the mental health stuff.
Mhm.
And it saved my life. It was one of the parts that saved my life. I'm big into, I study holistic medicine. I'm big into biohacking. I ice bath and sauna and all that stuff every day. I love meditating and all that stuff, although I'm terrible at meditating because I'm a little bit scattered. But I try to do all that stuff. But music is my savior, and I've done it for so long. I'm good enough at it where it came naturally. But I thought I was done with music. I thought I was done. I thought I was moving to El Salvador, done with this. And, and during this whole process, going through madness amounts of pain, like, this excessive chronic pain that never ends. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that. But the one thing I would not let myself do is go into victim mode, go into boohoo mode, because everything was collapsing at the same time. I lost my fortune. I lost a lot of money. I made money in my career. I lost a lot. And my mental health and like all the things you lose, but you've got to keep it up here. And the second you allow that to start to drop, you're gone. So I used a few things. So like some of the tips, right? It's just like the biohacking stuff I mentioned, eating clean, being smart, not drinking excessively. Now, there were times during it, like every now and again, I'd be like, I'm hitting the bottle of whiskey, man. I'm using it partly as a painkiller, partly as like a calm. But I'm also one of those guys, my health is so important to me. So I would never let that become a thing. So I'm really good about that. But another thing that I find really important, and this actually hit me today. I just came back. I was with my mates from South Africa. We got a great community here. We're all rugby fanatics. South Africa, if you know anything about rugby, we like multiple time world champions. It's a big part of it's like our religion. So the boys, we get together, we sit and we watch our rugby, and we played France today. It was this big grudge match, and we won as always. And we're around the braai, which you guys call the barbecue. We're braaiing our meat, and I said to the guys, I was like, boys, I'm going off to do this podcast, and this just hit me. You guys are such a massive healing element in my life. This breaking of bread, eating meat around the fire, whatever it is, but really it's us chiefs sitting around a fire, and we don't do this in the society anymore. It's just everyone's like all over the place, and you don't talk about this, you don't talk about. But man, I'm telling you guys, if you first of all find a passion, mine's music. If you're struggling with your mental health and you're struggling because some woman screwed you over, or you're an alcoholic, or you don't know where to go, and you're thinking about taking yourself out, whatever it is, find something you love. I dare you, take a surfing lesson. Life changer. Try it, especially if you're scared of the ocean or sharks or anything. Take a surf lesson. If you don't want to do that and you don't live anywhere near the ocean, try something else. Go mountain climbing. Don't make excuses. It's so easy to sit around and be a boohoo guy. There's so many things you can do. So get off your ass, get off the couch, go find something you can be passionate about. But this really hit me today. If you don't have men in your life, like we're doing now, the three of us, I don't know you guys, but like this is important. It could be you two, it could be my best mates or my brother, father. If you don't have this, and thank you guys for doing this, because this is very helpful for men out there. If you don't have this, if you don't have a way to sit with other men and discuss your issues and stuff, discuss life, you're really up against it, because it is incredibly important. And right now, more than ever, we all know this struggle that men are going through. We are going through the hardest times. The suicide rate is the highest it has ever been. Incarceration rate for men is the highest it's ever been. Masculinity has now become this toxic word, which drives me nuts. I'm not political.
Say the lack of masculinity is what is toxic.
Exactly. Well done.
It's not actually masculinity. It's the lack of.
No. Good luck without masculinity in this world. We built bridges, electricity, toilets to sit on, like in airplanes, cars, like everything. Men have built this world, and we should get some props for it. We don't need our egos boosted, but we are the men that have the responsibility. When somebody breaks into the house, guess who has to get up and beat their asses? Me, you. We got to take care of that. Women have their role. There's nothing wrong with these, the women that want to be out in the workplace stuff. Amazing. I'm not against that at all. I'm not liberal. I'm none of those things. I'm none of them. However, hormonally and organically, we are who we are. and we have our places and our strong points. So why don't we take what's strong about me and what's strong about your femininity and bring them together? And you can help up the femininity in me. I can help up the masculinity if it's ever needed, whatever. But man, it's crazy how the world is literally collapsing around this whole masculine thing. I think there's a shift. It's hopefully getting better. I don't know what you guys agree with that.
I think at least go ahead, Robbie. I've spoken most. Go for it. You go for it.
No, I think, well, it depends, right? It depends where you find your social spot, I guess. I think in some aspects it's still collapsing, and it's collapsing at a fast rate, and they want it to. I think if us men get together, we see the positive in it, and we surround ourselves with people that want to get better. So that part is growing. As a whole, you maybe have some better answer to this, but as a whole, it's a United States thing, North America thing, upper North America thing. Can include Canada in there too. You look at the rest of the world, and if any one of us was to go anywhere in Asia, we'd be, hot money, because they want a masculine man. Yeah. They want protection. They want someone to take care of them. It's our social aspect now in the United States, North America, that, femininity would never have their rights. Now they have their rights and beyond. We know that. They don't have to go and fight in war. They can choose to, but they don't have to, sign the draft when they turn 18. They have the right to vote. They have everything that they fought for. And now men are losing that part. So I guess whatever social, place you find yourself in, it's either it's upcoming because we surround ourselves with people that are upcoming, or you find that where it's still going downhill. And I think, in my opinion, the uphill part is more, the downhill part is less. But in certain areas of the United States, you can definitely go find it and be a part of it if you want to.
I think there's men out there, and I think a lot of men are out there looking for other men to help lift them up. We are socially isolated from each other. We're busy. Our time is focused on trying to make money and trying to do better and trying to do all of those things. And, it's coming at the cost of relationships with their wives, with their girlfriends, and that sort of thing. And we're all a very disconnected people right now. And when we start finding each other and we start talking about how we feel, what's wrong with the shit, venting, getting it off our chest, finding an outlet for it. A lot of that is get to the gym, go and meet people doing things that you might like to do. And how do you find out if you like to do that? You get out and you try the thing more than once. 10 times, 5 times, something.
Yeah.
Make it a thing. You never.
Yeah. I mean, suffer. Put yourself through it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Everything you do, you'll suck at the beginning, and then the more we do it, the more we get better at these things. Yeah. And I study. I'm going back to school, so I'm studying public accounting right now, and I'm studying with 2 awesome gentlemen, young men, that it's really great to see these 2 young men and learn and grow and be curious. And the really neat part is they're starting to get, if we suffer together, then everyone wins when we do that. And we're all struggling studying for this, doing the homework and all of this accounting stuff. Yeah. But we're doing it together. And then, if somebody missteps, then it's an opportunity to say, hey, can I teach you this? Yes, absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you. We don't make each other feel bad because you don't get the concept. We put effort into helping understand the concept. And that's coming from 2, a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. and they get it. And so I'm actually like, what I'm seeing right now gets me excited because they're curious and they want to know and they want to be a part of it, and they want to, they have this growth mentality, this growth sense about them, and it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, that's good because the next generations are, it's affecting the generations terribly. You see men are getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and these poor women out there are suffering because the bottom line is they want masculine men. They want real men. They want manly men. They can take care of shit when it needs to happen. They don't want to deal with that stuff too, especially if they're in the workplace and they're successful. They want to come home and be a woman. Um, and just touching on like talking to men as well. It's really important, like I said, like with my rugby mates, like talking, but find a couple of people, one person or two people, if you're lucky, that you really trust. My mate Travis, we sit in the sauna every day. We spoke through this stuff daily. He's super patient. He went through a terrible divorce. He's on his second marriage, an amazing marriage now, but he went through some stuff. Nothing. I don't know anyone that's gone through the severity of what I've gone through, but it's all relative. It all ties in. It's all the same. And getting his perspective, he's an accountant. He's very I'm like sort of right brain creative, a little all over that. He's very creative. He's very logical. It's very helpful. We sit in the sauna every day. It's our time. It's like our therapy time. And then my other best mate, who literally picked me up with my dog, drove me across country when I was running from the cops. He is a man. He's literally a specialist in men's mental health. He's got a business called Winning EQ, and he coaches one-on-one. He does corporate stuff. He's amazing. If anyone wants to know, gladly reach out through you guys, whatever. I'll send you. But find people that you trust. Not only a therapist. I'm not going to shit on therapists, but for me, it doesn't work. It's not my thing. Maybe I have a block for it or whatever. I grew up in South Africa. I'm a minister's child. I grew up in a really strange environment where I was thrown into, like, all of a sudden my dad decided he wanted to be a minister, and then our whole lives changed, and all of a sudden it felt like I was in this cult. But I also found my passion and my life through it because I grew up in the biggest church in the Southern Hemisphere. It was a 14,000 person congregation, 7,000 people at a time in this thing. And I was playing drums at like 15 in front of all these people, first in the youth band and then there. And we would go out and party and stuff. I remember being on acid at 14, 15, whatever, and partying all night and coming home, coming straight to the church and playing drums. Like, it was weird, man. It was weird. And my parents, I love them. We're super close. We are so close. I hope they don't hear this. No, I love them. They are such good people, and they've grown a lot. They were really strict and whatever, but they've matured and they've grown. And I'm so grateful because even though it was a tight noose, it turned me into, a skateboarder and punk rocker and all these things. And I was playing death metal and stuff because I wanted to rebel and whatever. But I'm so fortunate because my dad has never drank. I've never seen my parents fight once in my life. They have the most beautiful relationship, almost 60 years of marriage. He is literally my hero and the ultimate gentleman of gentlemen. So I would rather have had that than have had the crazy father that beat my mother and was an alcoholic and stuff. Getting a little off track. But what I'm talking about that is because I was raised in that, I've always been a little hesitant with therapy and traditional things because they were marriage counselors and they were always counseling. And sometimes we were like, as kids, we were like, can you just be our parents and not counsel us? You know what I mean? So there was some of that. Yeah. So me personally, it doesn't really, I've tried it. It doesn't really work for me. What works for me is more traditional old school ways. Get around the fire, talk to people that, matter. For you guys out there that it works for, amazing. But please do yourselves a favor. Find something else to add to it. Don't just rely on sitting in a room and chatting to a person who studied something, who has a degree on the wall about therapy. They're not invested in your life. They have other patients. Find other people that really care about you. And most importantly, don't rely on anyone. It's you against the world. Get out there, go mountain climbing, go whatever it is, but do something extreme. Like find your passion.
I think
that's what happened for me, man. It's a game changer.
Stay invested in your life. I think that's the you hit the nail on the head with that part. When I wasn't invested in my life, fully invested in my life, I wavered and I wandered and I was very directionless. When I started being invested in my life, in my future, I started finding passion. I started finding things that I cared about. I started wanting to be around people that were going to help me grow.
Yeah.
The thing is that sometimes when everyone's gone and we just feel alone, finding those people again, it feels like a fucking monstrous, impossible task.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to do that? Where am I going to find the time? Where am I going to? A lot of this stuff.
It's dark.
What's happened is I didn't get the social connection that I was looking for by sitting on the couch. I had to get out. I had to go and put myself in front of people. I had to let it fail. I had to get uncomfortable. It's scary. And you know, the way that you said, you know, this didn't work for me. There's thing. The only way you're going to know whether something's working for you or not is to give it a good try. Give it effort. Give it your all.
Be open to everything.
That's what it is,
everything.
Right?
Another thing that people that nobody touches
curiosity.
on either is nutrition. They don't even touch it. It's like you go sort of the therapist or doctor or whatever, and they're like, oh, you know, I'm depressed, I'm going through this. They're like, yeah, take this pill, whatever. And we wouldn't have to get into all that. But just feeding your brain, feeding your nervous system, like actually putting the proper nutrients in your body so that you can tackle these things. Because fight or flight is an intense response, right? Your brain controls your body. And your left brain and your right brain, the way it calibrates is whatever's coming at you either goes to your left brain or your right brain, whatever you're born, whatever your dominant side is, and then the opposite side of your body reacts, because that, let's say the left brain controls the right side of the body, the whole right side of your body is going to react, and people start walking around crooked and stuff because we are living in a stress state. So you got to take care of, like, do all these things. It's there's not one thing that's going to help you. There isn't the perfect therapist or my friend or this guy or this or playing rugby or going. So it's not only what do you guys do? I'm curious. Do you mind if I ask Robbie? What do you like to do to unstress? Since we all learn from each other, right?
To unstress, for me is to run.
Okay.
Yeah, running.
Love it.
Working out.
Nice. Yeah.
Creative with the podcast, stuff like that.
Yeah, and this is a great outlet for you guys. Yep. What do you do, Steve?
This is so this isn't even my only podcast. I have another podcast that's an alcohol addiction recovery podcast called Through the Glass Recovery Podcast. So I put effort into that, and that's one of my passion things. It's great. I love talking about this stuff. I learn a lot when I speak. When I learn a lot when I hear myself talk. And I get to hear and see my own perspective. And I love it when somebody else reflects back to me what I'm saying, so I can actually see my perspective from someone else's viewpoint. That to me is wonderful and beautiful. But what I do when I need to go and de-stress is I like to get outside. If I can get myself a good 8 to 10 to 12 mile hike in, that to me feels great. If I don't have that kind of time, I'll take my socks off and I'll go stand on the ground. And people might feel like that's ridiculous. I'm telling you, I as soon as I go outside and I put my feet in the ground and I do that for 5 minutes, I've separated myself a little bit from whatever it is that's on my mind, whatever it is that's stressing me out. I get to refocus. I focus on the ground. I focus on how the grass touches my feet. I get a little bit more present. And even if it's just 5 minutes, I feel like that little exchange of energy with just nature helps me. If I need to stop and slow down, I go and I hop in the tub. A nice warm bath for me is an amazing de-stress. It separates me from everything. And I'll literally light a candle and I'll chill.
It's so good.
And it is so much of how I process the stress, because sometimes in the quiet is where I can actually find the deep thought or the root of what it is that's wigging me out.
Yeah.
And then I can create some sort of action related to the anxiety or the stress that I'm causing, because generally speaking, any anxiety and any stress that's being caused in my life is probably because I haven't done anything about that thing yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. There's a
coming
lot of
up,
simple little things. You just got to find. I jump in the ice bath for 5 minutes, and my whole day just changed like that. I'm just like, woo! I'm ready to go. Like, woo! Everything
Yeah.
shifts, man. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I have a hot tub. I'm the same as you. Like in the evening, sometimes just up in the mountain, I just get in the jacuzzi and I just quiet,
Yep.
man. Or
You
maybe
just
I'll listen
melt
to jazz,
into
but it's
it
just
and
quiet. Just
peace out. Yep.
Shut
Music
down.
also.
Oh,
I'll turn on some light tunes, light music. Sometimes it's hard rock, whatever it is, a mood I'm in, and
Yeah.
get into that. Before we close this out, Robbie, is there anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
Okay. Where can our listeners, the ones that have made it this far, there's 3 people that have watched this live pretty much the entire time. Where can they find your music, Bruce? Where can they find Color of Noise? Where can they find the Noise Therapy?
Yeah. Okay, so the album is done, but I'm doing a sort of a strategic release. I'm releasing 1 single per month. So the first single and the second single already out. The third one, it's the first of every month. The third one will come out on the 1st of December. The album is done. It's ready to be released. I'll probably release the whole album at the same time as the third single. I'm on, the band is Color of Noise. The website, which will be live probably by tomorrow or so, I'm building it as we speak, is called colorofnoisemusic.com for anyone who wants to use, but it's got like merch and all that stuff. Spotify, iTunes, it's everywhere. My YouTube channel is at Color of Noise. You'll see I do a lot of little short form music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for any of you guys, I mean, listen, it's dirty rock. It's real. It's off the cuff. Like I said, I didn't write an album. I recorded an album, and the lyrics are they just come straight out of my heart, and it is what it is. The next album's going to be the happy one. But yeah, this, for those that I think a lot of you could sink your teeth into it, people that are struggling, because you'll be able to relate. Everyone has their struggle, and there's a lot of this, and I'm getting amazing feedback. I'm getting an overwhelming feedback. So yeah, man, super pumped. Instagram is CON as in con _, Color of Noise. I'm very active on there. I got all that stuff on there. I'm on Facebook, all that stuff. But people can reach out to me on whatever, on the website, or you can email me. My email is colorofnoisetherapy@gmail.com right now. So yeah, or reach out to you guys. But yeah, I appreciate the love. What an honor to be on here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for reaching out to us and wanting the opportunity to come and join us here and share your story and be a part of our little corner of the internet, let's just call it.
Fantastic, man.
And this Men's Mental Health podcast, but really I'm looking forward to sitting down and listening to the whole album when it comes out. When you talk about therapy through the mic, it makes me think about sharing our pain. And sometimes when we get the chance to share our pain in great and safe places, we have the opportunity to have that pain. And when we share our joy, we get the opportunity to double it. And so you putting your heart out on the table like that, I'm sure has made you feel lighter. And I'm sure you operate with so much more energy today because you put your heart on your sleeve. So thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your vulnerability. And with any other guy out there right now, if you're feeling alone and you need a place to speak, we know you're out there. We know the pain and the plight. And if you need a man to talk to, or you feel like you want to reach out, I'm going to speak for all 3 of us. We're all willing to listen.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Thank you again. And we'll see everyone next week.
Cheers, boys. Thank you, everybody.